Who Put This On, Season 4, Episode 46, where we watch The Bachelor Presents Listen to Your Heart. Season 1, Episode 1. I'm Chris Lorenz.
I'm Brian Houston.
Noah Singer.
Anna Beats.
I'm Harrison Hoffman.
Hey, this is James.
Robert Kitts.
I'm John Maxer.
Who?
Not your best Max.
Like John Mayer, but off by one.
It was one letter off.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's a lot of like Johns in the world. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
John Maxer.
That was tough.
I was thinking of going with like, I'm John Maxer, and remember, your body's a wonderland.
That would have been good.
Hey,
All right.
you know what? Anyway, back to The Bachelor. Listen to your heart, the John Mayer story.
Hey, wait a second though. Hold up. There's a colon in there that you forgot to mention.
What?
It's The Bachelor Presents colon.
Oh. There's no colon. You don't say the colon.
You gotta say the colon. It's key.
Wait, you say colon?
You have to. It's required.
You know, fun fact, that Republican who served under Bill Clinton, Colin Powell, his first name's just a colon.
I thought his
All
first
right,
name was
Harrison, give us the show description, please.
Uniting two of the most emotionally powerful forces in human life, music and love. 20 single men and women embark on an incredible journey to find love through music. Singing well-known songs both individually and as couples, they look to form attractions through the melodies, find and reveal their feelings, and ultimately fall in love. The eligible bachelors and bachelorettes meet and explore their relationships while living together and going on dates that focus on music. Once the couples commit to each other, it's time to take the relationships to the next level. The harmony of the couples is tested through musical challenges, including live performances judged by some of the biggest names in the music business. The couples whose performances reveal their love and devotion get a chance to further their relationships until only one couple is left standing. That's The Bachelor Presents, Listen to Your Heart on ABC.
Whew, that's a doozy.
That's a big time description. But
It's like as long as the show itself.
It didn't actually say what it was, though.
No.
they did. It told you exactly what it was.
It unites
it
love
did.
and music.
Yeah.
I definitely zoned out halfway through that. It's like
So
a 5-minute speech.
the show is Bachelor in Paradise, but not in Paradise. So like, why would you want to be on this one?
Except this one also, at the end of the description, it said until only one couple is left standing.
Aren't they usually like that? Brian, you've watched all these Bachelor shows.
They definitely have like a winner, but they still have like couples that hook up and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, are those the winners? If you hook up, does that qualify you as a winner?
No, actually, no. I thought there was like several like weddings. Hold on, I'm gonna go internet corner for a second.
Well, for
Chris,
Bachelor in Paradise, it's like they just keep bringing in new people and seeding it every week, and then like at the end, you kind of like, if you're in a relationship, I think you just get to go to like whatever the final level is, and so they're not whittling it down to one. There are like as many couples as make it.
Well, we've gotten a lot of rounds through the Bachelor Expanded Universe, and I think the best way to think about this would be Bachelor Winter Games, where there is both a goal to bip together and have couples pair off, but there's also a competition with a winner. And it seems like this is going to at some point turn into Bizarro American Idol, where it's both Bachelor, but there's also singing in front of a crowd with judges. And so I think they're trying to combo the two things. You can still be a winner at life and finding your true love through music, but you're a loser in the competition of American Idol Bachelor Edition.
How dare you bring up Bachelor Winter Games? I had blacked that out of my memory.
It's relevant when we're in the Bachelor Expanded Universe. We got to keep going and referencing all the Bachelor minutia.
Oh.
You.
On the plus side, the summer games are canceled.
We
They
did
might bring him back in 2021. We'll see.
Okay, we're moving on from that.
This is like it though, in that they even show already on Meet the Cast on ABC.com. There's 2 contestants listed on the website that they haven't even introduced yet in the show. So we'll be seeing some new blood come in.
Also, there are people that are just in this episode who are not talked about at all, and who maybe their name is never mentioned.
It's true.
I think their names are mentioned. It's easy to miss that.
No. I feel like Bree, her name was mentioned like once.
There was at least one dude who, at the end, you're like, "Who's that guy?"
Yeah, there are like a couple dudes who get eliminated who never get to speak. But I kind of think this is one thing The Bachelor does well, because they don't mess around with people who won't matter. You never have to meet them.
So the one person that I think you're talking about is Russell. He's like at the end, he's like shown sitting at the like glass door, just kind of like crying because he's kicked off the show. And you're like, who is that guy?
The guy in the leather jacket looks like the dude from The Strokes.
Yeah. Or is that Michael Todd?
No. This guy.
No, it's Russell. His bio page is very endearing. He never had a New Year's kiss. You know, he may swoon with his teen idol looks, but he really wants true love.
Yeah, we got none of that in the show. 0%. So like,
Should have put up his email at the end.
Yeah, they definitely needed the emails at the end, which we're getting pretty far from the emails to keep referencing that.
Gotta keep referencing it. It's good.
Watch if you listen to our "If You Are the One" episode, top tier. Who put this on for sure? You'll get that reference. So this show is one of our classic shows where there's just too many people, even for the total runtime without commercials of 2 hours.
It was an hour 25.
Sorry, yeah, I can't. It's an hour and a half.
It felt like 2 hours.
It felt like much longer, but like with that total runtime, there's still too many people. So we only get good intros to maybe about like 8 people.
Yeah, I started writing names down. I got through 4, and then I completely gave up and abandoned ship.
I feel like the best way to go through this is the women, because the show is set up where there's 8 women, 12 guys, and the rose ceremony at the end of the episode. The women picked a guy, and if you weren't picked, you're off the show. So it's easier to kind of go by like the women, who they were interested in, who they picked. And in that process, we'll talk about all the guys that we actually introduced. And we can ignore Russell because no one fucking talked to Russell, apparently. We don't really know who he is. So I have Jamie. She seems to be the main focus of this episode. She has a lot of drama in her. So like she's 21. She's a hostess from Tennessee. She's the youngest one on the show. And she's interested in Trevor and Ryan. Those are her 2 big like focuses of the show.
And she made out with both of them within the first 3 hours of being there.
Oh man!
I mean, she's young. She's looking for love. You gotta really try out them. You gotta try them out before you pick.
Always make out with people within 3 hours of being.
Is that a rule, Max, that you follow?
Absolutely.
Okay. That's a workplace rule, really.
So was a question about Trevor. Was he one of the first ones, and I say the first ones because I think multiple guys did this on the show, to proclaim that they wrote one of the women a song and then grabbed a guitar, played the song, and sang it?
I don't think so.
That wasn't Trevor? Am I confusing him?
So. I mean,
Trevor
definitely did that. I don't know if he was the first one.
You're gonna have to be more specific on a show like this, where like every single motherfucker is gonna do that, like every episode.
Well,
it happened like 3 times on this episode alone.
Well, you took a bunch of people that like write and sing songs, and like that's their thing. That's your go-to.
I mean,
I wrote this song for you,
right? Like the whole show is that, and I think like we'll get into this in a little bit, but like one of the only like things that's interesting about the show is this angle on the musicians. And
well, I mean,
they're
that's what they're trying to make.
Right, like they're setting this whole thing up to be that movie, Stars Born.
Yeah, let's get into that. So
We've got to talk about that.
Chris Harrison cues this up with, "Welcome to Bachelor, Listen to Your Heart. You know, we were really inspired by the movie A Star is Born." And it's like, what? What does this show have to do with A Star is Born?
It was really inspired by the drug addicts and depression and all the hardship everyone went through in that movie. So we're going to find love?
Take a quick
I think that it's
everybody seen A Star Is Born?
No.
Oh, Rob.
That's
It's
why I
fine.
didn't get it.
I haven't either. So
Does this make you want to see it?
People die. I know. That's fine.
I think that the only thing that's really relevant here is that
Idiot.
it all boils down to there is a scene in A Star Is Born where Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga are on stage singing a duet together, and they want to make that like the goal of this reality show is to America's Next Top Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga.
Yeah. So like I have an opinion on that. So like we watched 2 hour, like hour and a half of the show, and they didn't really do anything to encourage that to happen at all.
What do you?
They just
what-
put all these, well, they just put all these people in a room and didn't be like, hey, maybe you should play music. Like obviously people are playing music.
What about
but
when
there's
they
no
brought
organized activity
What about
around
when
music?
they brought the people on the date to the recording studio
Two
and had
people.
Don Mayer's
Two people.
produce them singing a duet together?
Chris,
Two people.
You got to take the L on this one. They literally did the exact thing you're saying in this show.
No,
in this
there was
episode.
no like, hey, do you fit musically together with anyone? There wasn't like a, hey, this is the kind of music you play. This is the kind of music I play. No, it was like, oh, how hot you are and how like comfortable conversational we are together. There was no real talk about how musically we are inclined together. Even
I totally disagree. I feel like there was a bunch of talk about the music.
no. I'm not saying there wasn't any talk about it. I'm saying there was no structured thing to point them in that direction.
Except
Like,
for the
in
dates.
a normal show that you set up a theme around, you might want to actually set up some sort of structure to encourage something like that. But that's just
I think all the dates are going to be music themed. They live in a house where there are tons of instruments everywhere.
well, you just
I think
kicked
they
off.
want a lot of music to happen naturally, and it totally did this time. Like so many people are like playing songs for each other, and then they'll cut to like some guy on the piano, and everybody's grouped around singing.
That was like
Suddenly
3
we're in a
people.
Plain White Tees concert.
So, Chris, what I'm hearing is instead of them following their heart at first to find a match, you would have preferred to really lean forward with their like musical talents.
I expected much more musical talent focused in the beginning because that's the show. The show is about music. It's
There was
like,
2
and
dates
finding
that
love,
were
but,
music
like, whatever.
dates. And
the
there
show's
was
not about
3
music, the show's
impromptu
VIP.
proclaimed, I wrote you this song, let me sing it for you now. In the house.
That was but that wasn't. People will do that. They just weren't encouraged by the producers to do that.
They 100% were. The producers set those dates up. How?
Well, the dates are definitely music inclined. We got over that. I get it.
Well, the other thing is, like as we all know about the Bachelor extended universe in general, is people are coming on here for their social media and to make some kind of play. And there's no better career than if you're a musician. So, like, I don't think they need to do a lot of encouragement to get these people to be playing as much music and like talking about their music as possible all of the time.
I just expected like the intros to be more musically inclined, other than them just getting in a room together. That for a show about music, I was just kind of bored because they didn't really go over what kind of music they played or liked or could do. Now it's just like, oh, he's cute, he's handsome.
Chris, don't get me wrong.
I could watch Bip too.
That point was totally boring because it wasn't any, it was just normal Bachelor bullshit at that point. The show was in the gutter up until we got to the dates.
I definitely could have done with a little like talent show at the top where like all the different people just go and they perform like a song or something and you're like, all right, cool. Like that'd have been like good.
Yeah,
you say
I mean, that's all I'm asking for.
But there was how many
like,
people on this show? There was 20 people on the show. You want 20 musical performances to start this show out? I'm gonna call BS on that right now.
That's too many. But you can kind of gloss over some. Like, you know how they can kind of chop them up? Some they'll only show about 10 seconds of. Some they'll be like, oh man.
Like Russell, really you're never gonna see it.
Like they I think Max even said this one point when we were watching the show. You may set up a karaoke situation and they're all just singing random songs, and then you just have like a 2-minute montage showing highlights of that, and they were actually singing for 2 hours, and we don't care. Like I think that's
Rob. That
that's
is a
what we
hell of a
need.
producer call. I totally agree that you just set this thing up as karaoke with a limited time window, and whoever gets up there gets up there. If you didn't go, you didn't go. I love that idea.
You gotta start calling us.
You can only sing songs from A Star Is Born.
We gotta
it's a
start
limited
producing
range.
these shows, guys. We really gotta get on some email lists.
They talked about how the inspiration for the show is A Star Is Born. One of the contestants on the show mentioned how they hoped it was going to be like A Star Is Born, and then in one of like the later on this season, we saw them performing a song from A Star Is Born. Also,
Do you
Well,
think
the song.
the song.
Do you
That's
think
the
they're
finale.
queuing it up for the finale to be like judged by Bradley and Lady Gaga, and they have to perform that song?
They gotta have Bradley Cooper show up in this at some point. You can't
have
you
to.
can't tease A Star Is Born in the first 5 minutes and not pull in Bradley Cooper at some point. Like that's malpractice. But this is a good we gotta talk about the fact that this kicked off with a 4-minute this season on before we'd seen anything, which is something we made fun of as being weird 2 months ago, and now is every single freaking show we do.
Yeah, it
starts
seems to
with
be
this.
the new playbook.
The amount of previewing is egregious in this show, especially in a show where a bunch of people are about to be eliminated. Like you're just watching people performing songs together in this this is about to happen. You know who all the couples are in the first 3 minutes of the show.
Well, to be fair, when they do this season on, you don't know who anybody is, so you don't remember, which is part of why it's dumb to do this season on so early, because it's just boring. Because I'm like, I don't know what any of this is.
The only one I remembered was Sheridan. I was like, hey, Sheridan's not kicked off. Like the whole episode, I'm like, well, he's not getting kicked off.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's this like YouTube influence from what I can tell is like the whole like, hey, this is a ad. Like they want the beginning to pop, but like it's terrible. And they keep doing it throughout the episode before each commercial breaks. Like, here's coming up next, the next 15 minutes. And it's like a 30-second thing. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I'm watching this. You gotta, if I'm watching without commercials, you gotta cut that out. Like, it's literally happening now. Like, no time between this.
They are having to drag people through this 2 hours. There's like, guys, I promise there's something interesting coming up. If you wait one more break, there's something happening.
But it's not the only show that's doing this. It seems
all
to be
of
the new
MTV.
playbook.
Like MTV's been doing this for how many seasons of the challenge? Like I don't know, but like it's not just the challenge; it's every single show. It just keeps happening. It's
Bachelor,
terrible.
especially, like they make it an art form. Like they do it so hard, you just know everything.
This
Brian,
is
can
especially
you
bad.
confirm that?
It was so bad that when they did the last commercial break before the rose ceremony, there wasn't one, and it was actually jarring. It was like, wait, we're just back in the show. Like this seemed strange.
Because everybody knows what's up next. Everybody knows what's next. You don't need to show it.
But Brian,
speak to if
in
this
a
is how
normal
common.
Bachelor,
It's very common.
okay.
But like that's usually like, okay, now I have some extra drink, gather a drink, or like we discuss the time. Like that's it. Usually, Bachelor is only good to watch with friends because then you could discuss it with them, or you could like make fun of something. Usually, we try to burn the contestants, and then this extra time, like, it's not a good show.
You just kind of have to look away when they do this next time on.
Yeah,
And, like you just gotta skip it.
Yeah, you could go get a beer or get some more food, and then you have more bathroom time. Like they're being courteous to us.
I mean,
No, they're not.
So Brian does hit on something, which is something I did during this show, which happened to just be due to timing. But also, the show is I would recommend it for. I don't know if it's a thing, but if you're cooking dinner, this is a great show to have on. It's just some background filler. It's a bunch of whatever. You can kind of come in and out. You don't really miss a whole ton. You're like, oh yeah, that person's doing whatever with this person. Okay, cool. Like it kind of works.
If you do that, you're gonna miss the great Michael Todd moments, like trying to kiss within the first 5 minutes of being in this house.
I mean,
I'm happy that they made that a big deal, though.
Is he the same guy who sang "Hot Touch," or was that a different guy?
I have no idea.
I know it's a different guy.
Oh.
Okay.
You're gonna have to keep your own notes for that stuff, Annabeth. I'm not.
It was a good bit of minutia. I thought I'd just go in now and see if it sparked any seeds.
Anyway, we could go back to this Jamie situation briefly, where she was trying to date Ryan and Trevor. She went on a date with Ryan, which we briefly talked about, where they went and did a duet together at some studio with some Grammy-nominated producer. I forget what song they sang. Rob, what song did they sing?
They sang "Gravity" by John Mayer.
Gravity.
They talked about it so much.
Yeah,
And
I
Brian
kinda
was
forgot that.
so fired up, and Jamie was okay about it.
He's like, John Mayer's been my musical idol for my whole life.
I mean, if one of them didn't know how to play it on the guitar, like the whole segment doesn't work, right?
Well,
didn't-
they had people there to play.
Yeah, they were just saying.
They were practicing with the guy when he was playing guitar.
Got it.
Do you think
but
they asked any Emmy-winning producers and they said no? And then they're like, okay, well, I guess we'll take this guy.
Like, the whole thing with it is that this is the producer that produced, I think, this song for John Mayer is like why it was interesting.
Yeah, but I'm sure there's Emmy-winning producers that also have songs that they use. Like they pick different songs.
Grammys. It's a Grammy.
Grammys. Sorry, Grammys.
You don't want a lot of emails about Emmys versus Grammys. This is Grammys.
Yeah, it is Grammys. Sorry, thank you, Chris. Good clarification.
Well, like I also don't think they just chose anybody. They chose somebody to like, okay, hey dude, you're gonna be the one that like is gonna go on this date. Or if they ask everyone, like if you go on this date, like who your influence is, like all those things. They're like, oh, this guy was really into John Mayer, he knows how to play this song, like blah blah blah, let's get that guy and make that the date.
Yeah. This plays into like one of the best inventions by like the Bachelor producers is this like date card thing. Because like it is such a blatant like the producers like sticking their hand into the show and like causing something to happen, and it's like they like at some point a card shows up and it says, hey, whatever their name is can ask whoever they want on a date. So then they basically obviously like set up to be something really really controversial, and then they can make the right situation happen. But like in this case, yeah, they basically made her choose which dude to bring, but then yeah, did this crazy John Mayer thing.
Well, she picks Trevor and not Ryan, the person she goes on the date with. But I agree, Harrison, that this is definitely like the producer's main way of influencing the show is like giving the date card to somebody to encourage some sort of drama of some kind.
So in other Bachelors, is there a consistency to when date cards come out? Or is it like one episode will be like 10 to like stir up the drama, and one episode will be like 1?
I have no idea.
So I mean, on the usual. Oh, sorry, Beth. Go on. Okay, on the usual Bachelor, it's like obviously like there's like mini like group dates or like one-on-one dates. Like it can vary all about, but like you're only gonna have like 1 or 2 of those moments, which is the same here. Like you had 1 or 2 of those like private dates. So maybe like they'll also have like group singing sessions later. Who knows?
It seems like it's more important in these BIP winter games, listen to your heart style shows where you actually have people competing with each other and not just like 50 people competing for one person. Like the producer's control is way more influential in like a situation where there's like could be a throuple happening and you got to figure out like who's who, like they just did.
What was that? What's happening?
A throuple.
Isn't that a 3-person couple?
Yeah, well, I
think
just
we're
wanted
talking
to
about
show
a
that.
love triangle.
Love triangle, sure. Whatever you want to use.
Chris was advocating during the show that they should allow for the throuple to continue. So I think that's just the way he wants to go with the show.
Are we
Look,
bringing the
this
Tiger King in here?
this show is about love. I feel like kicking people off because you love 2 of them, you can only love one of them at a time. Like that seems not very love-like. You know, you want love to blossom. If it's with 3 people, it's with 3 people. That's just kind of like, sometimes Joe Exotic isn't just a giant a-hole.
Dude, like the rules are set up such that they can appease the most people. It's about viewership. Like,
I mean,
it has nothing to
obviously
do with
about
anything,
viewership,
right? Like, hey, what's the stance the majority of people that we are targeting the show are gonna be okay with? That's all it is.
But since he came up, how great would it be if renowned singer Joe Exotic rolled into Bachelor BIP right now? This would just be fantastic.
I don't
is
think
he out
that
of jail?
he's getting any roses.
Hey, he writes those heartfelt songs. That's going to make an impression.
He's also gay.
Yeah,
Sure,
yeah.
he is gay.
That's actually an interesting question about the show, because I feel like the show is still very stuck sort of in the same like boy-girl kind of situation, whereas I feel like a lot of these newer shows are kind of taking these more interesting angles. What's the recent one we did where everyone could have went any which way and you didn't know what was going on? That was like,
Are You the One?
Yeah, I knew there was like an acronym, but I can't remember.
We didn't do that. That was just the latest season of Are You the One?
Ah, got it. But I feel like that was like one thing sort of feels missing now from this show. You're like, well, it kind of feels somewhat predictable. There's no wild cards. You know, there's no like, well, this person could go whatever.
Sure, there are wild cards. There's just like, who's gonna be with who, James?
Yeah.
Who's gonna get kicked off? It's very exciting. I guess the next person I have written down we can briefly discuss is Mel. She's 27, a waitress. I didn't write down where she was from, but yeah, she's like barely in this episode at all. She's like the second tier or third tier kind of character. And at the end, she picks Gabe, even though she went on a date with Matt, which I guess we could go into this whole Matt situation where Matt kind of was going in a threesome. What is a
love triangle?
Love triangle with Mel and Rudy. And he had a date card and he told both of them that they would go on a date together, but then actually picked Mel, and Rudy was very upset. Rudy was heartbroken, like they've been dating for months. She was just bawling her eyes out and just like really pissed off. I mean, you deserve to be pissed off at this point. But
I don't know. I think we need justice for Matt because I don't think he told her they were going on a date.
Yeah, I think that she kind of mischaracterized that conversation a little bit. I mean,
do you remember exactly what he said?
So they walk in and she says, in case you were wondering, yes, I want to go on the date with you. And then he says, well, what would your ideal first date be? And then they kind of talked about that, and they're like, oh, okay. And then they sort of went their separate ways. And I think that she kind of took that as like a, hey, like.
Oh, that's very different from what she said she took it.
Oh, I know. It's super
Which
different.
is, you asked me out on this
That's
date.
why that dude was so confused when she was confronting him about it. He's like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I remember saying that. Or, like, sometimes I just say stuff and I don't know what it is.
Man,
like,
that makes a lot more sense now. I just thought that guy was being an idiot. And
no,
with
yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe we saw it wrong, but, like...
No, you're probably right. I just don't remember what that conversation was.
Well, that's the thing. Like when this was happening, I was just like, I have no idea what he said during that conversation. So I can't, I don't know what, but like it definitely he didn't think he gave that impression. I was curious what his word choice was, and it sounds like she leapt to some conclusions and then told everyone else it was as she imagined it, not as it was.
I definitely believe Rudy. She was very convincing, and I don't remember what the conversation was.
He asked her what she would want to do on a date, and she was like, "I want to make you pasta and watch a scary movie," and that was it.
Yeah.
Okay,
and
cool.
then he said that would be perfect.
Talk to the other girl.
I remember
we also didn't
her
see
saying
the whole
that.
conversation. We saw the edited version, so we don't know. We don't have a transcript. We need to see release the whole tape. Bachelor.
Release the tape.
Release the cut.
Stuff.
All of it.
I'm going with she's crazy because she rolled in and said she has quote unquote dated all of LA. Which means she's probably the problem.
Probably.
Man, there's a lot of people in LA.
Yeah.
So this also kind of leads into another person that was barely on the show, Cheyenne. She ends up picking Matt at the end, so he's still on the show. Which is,
This felt very, very producery to me. They're like, man, there was some good drama with Matt. We'd love to keep him around. Cheyenne's like, hey, I don't know. I don't really care for any of these guys. I'm not interested. And they're like, just pick Matt. That'll be good. And she's like, sure, whatever.
Yeah, but then next week they're going to add more girls, and it's going to be the opposite situation, and she's going to be screwed.
Yeah, well.
So you're saying
it's not the producer's problem,
right? Like the producers aren't going to use people to produce content.
Well,
circling.
What?
I was going to say, circling back to Mel for a second. I think it's very impressive how unmemorable she was, despite being one of the two women that went on a date.
Yeah.
Good job by you, Mel.
I don't think she said more than 5 words.
I don't know if she ever has like a confessional moment where she talks to us. We never meet her.
Which probably just means that she's like normal and not an insane person.
So, like, are they digging deep for the show? Like, how do you get a normal person on a reality show?
I don't know,
That's
man.
nuts.
I mean, it's certainly harder to cast than regular Bachelor because you have to have some level of musical talent plus good looks.
Although, can I bring up an idea that I've had during this 1 hour and 25 minutes? I think that there's a show within a show where there's a mole on this show who doesn't know music at all and is like super tone deaf. And it's our job to find the mole.
I think that's an amazing idea.
This is great. B, does the mole think they're really good at singing, or does the mole know that they gotta play it cool and not tip their hand?
They're bad,
I
but
think
they
the
know
mole
they're bad.
has to know because I think the mole is incentivized by the producers. Like every episode they get through and they're not caught. Like the mole gets like a little like something special. But I think the
It's like
mole
the
also
mole.
gets a special bonus if they do a public performance.
I like it.
Is there a male mole and a female mole, or just one mole?
There are two moles.
But they don't know it.
You cracked it. There's a male mole and a female mole, and if they find each other,
No, they don't know.
Then they both win.
They don't know there's
they get
another mole.
married.
At first sight. At first sound.
I feel like it'd be so interesting if they both think they're the only mole, so that like they're playing this game, but
That's
yet
good.
there is a surprise
Yes.
second mole.
That should totally be a part of it. They do not know there's another mole.
All right, Bachelor producers, this is the next Bachelor. This is the next installment in the Bachelor universe. Bachelor : mole.
I also
But
want.
how do you pull this into the goal of finding love?
Who cares?
The
Moving
two
on.
moles need to
Yeah.
find each other to find love. Chris, come on, pay attention.
Obviously. Also, wait. I have to say one more thing about the molecular is we have to get rid of Chris Harrison because he's a demon monster, and it has to be Anderson Cooper hosting it. That would be beautiful.
I mean, that'd be the dream. I think that's setting our sights too high, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But
All right,
Like,
so
yeah,
the next person I have is Julia. Julia seems to be in some sort of love triangle between Sheridan and some other guy. I don't remember his name, but he looks like Jeff Bezos.
Mr. Clean.
Mr. Clean.
Mr. Clean. I have let's see, what was his name? Does he have hair in the shows? Anyway. Oh, his name is Josh.
His name is Josh.
He's wearing a hat in the cast page, so I got lost.
Well, we gotta talk about the hats.
Yeah, we could talk. Well, anyway, so Julia picks Sheridan, which is the person that I was spoiled with for the first like 10 seconds of the show, because it shows Julia and Sheridan together performing on stage. It was the only one I remembered, but they spoiled it like probably everyone. I don't know exactly how many people were spoiled.
Why did you remember Sheridan so well, Chris?
Because he's wearing ludicrous hats. He's wearing this like cowboy hat, but like flat brim. It's like this new.
Is it kind of like a Heisenberg hat?
That's a
I think it's a little more ludicrous than a Heisenberg hat.
He's
Also,
from
like a
Portland.
ghetto cowboy hat.
post. He's got like very luscious for a dude long hair.
He's a very
I mean, he is
memorable guy.
luscious for a woman hair too, Max. Like, let's be real. It's super luscious.
Isn't that
Doesn't he-
Pantene Pro V? This podcast brought to you by Pantene.
Is that what you use, Max, on those curls? But the other thing about this, doesn't he self-proclaim he like looks like an Austiner? So he's from Austin,
Yeah.
Texas. He's got the whole Austin vibe going, and he's proud of it.
He
He
said like
said-
this is the traditional Austin look or something, and I was like, is it?
He said if you throw a rock in Austin, you can hit a musician with a big hat. I'm willing to believe that.
There was somebody else on the show with a cowboy hat.
And we never meet them.
There were
I
a
don't know
lot of
who it
insane
was.
hats. Like Sheridan was number one, but there was the strong hat game going on the show.
It's
How many
true.
hats do you think he brought? Like
You just got that
7?
one.
No, he's brought multiple hats to the show. He's popping a different hat like every episode.
How do you think he got those hats there? I guess they're just all in LA, right? so nobody
That's
had
his
to fly.
problem. Bachelor does not cover any
Oh
expenses.
no, actually,
you have to
no.
bring
There's a
your
lot of
whole
people from
wardrobe.
Tennessee.
Oh, really?
So I'm just trying to think, like, if you had to fly with a hat wardrobe, and these hats are humongous, like, how would you do it? You just get like a custom shaped suitcase bag or something that like fits these hats?
I don't know. He drove 12,000 miles, so I'm sure he just drove across country.
Oh, was this the Subaru guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Oh,
said
yeah.
that he said that he put the hats in like the roof rack container on the top of his car.
He made one of the first 4 people's names I wrote down, and I wrote down Subaru guy and
Yeah.
Austin. That's all I had.
He made the
Casey.
cut. He's a very memorable guy.
Love
Does
it.
he remind anybody else like a little bit of Posty?
I could see it. Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
Enough
his-
tats.
I'm looking up a picture.
Yeah, they do give a internet corner secret away about his hair.
Hey,
He only uses microfiber towels on his hair to keep his curls looking lush.
Okay,
Holy.
let's dive real deep on this.
That's a real deep internet corner cut, though.
No, like, so on ABC.com, every contestant has their profile page. They have a paragraph description, and then they get to list 3 fun facts.
Yeah, I see
Sheridan
that.
chose the microfiber towel as one of his 3 fun facts.
His car's name is Sheila as well.
I mean,
A little background to our listeners. So we're on a Zoom call. Noah's girlfriend Beverly is visible behind him, just looking at him as he describes this with this sort of "How the fuck do you know this look?" It's incredible.
And then laughing.
I mean, I don't try to compartmentalize my life, but not everyone gets to come to the internet corner.
Also, Noah, speaking of hair, yours looks wonderful right now.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Perfect
Good
audio
boy.
content for our listeners.
Look at that. The quarantine lush.
Did you
thrown
just
out here.
invest
So
in like
before-
microfiber
Microfiber.
towels or something? And you're just pushing these towels real hard right now? Is that all this plug is for?
Do we
brought
need
to you
to post
by
a photo of
Microfiber
Noah
towels.
on the Facebook group? On our Facebook, yeah.
Noah didn't own a towel before like 2014.
No, I didn't own non-beach towels. I had a lot of beach towels, and they're very adequate at getting dry. Like, I actually still don't see the issue with that. I have normal towels now.
Just keep that, Noah. Just keep digging.
you
I'm
got.
going to hold my ground on that.
That's
Beach
fine,
towels,
that's
they're
fine.
big, they are absorbent, and they kind of have fun patterns to them. Like, it just works.
it's towel.
So before we move on from Sheridan, I want to bring up this whole like they show him in his car and he's like, yeah, this is where I slept. This was where my kitchen was. He opens the door. And he's like, yeah, I put
What?
like he makes it seem like he went on a giant tour in this like Subaru. And he's like, yeah, I put 10,000 miles on my car. And I'm like, that doesn't really get you that far.
Sorry, I gotta course correct you on this. He said I put 1,000 miles.
No, did he say 1,000?
Thousands.
I'm pretty sure he said 10,000.
Okay, I'm going to give you benefit of the doubt, Chris, because like 1,000 is nothing.
No, yeah. I think he said 10,000. But that's still not like a lot if you're a touring musician. Like you're just constant like if you're driving constantly, that's nothing. That's like
Dude, you know how
2 or
long it
3
takes
weeks.
to drive 1,000 miles in LA traffic?
He's not in LA.
Oh.
He was
damn
like
it.
in Austin.
Well, that joke doesn't work then.
No, doesn't work. They set him up as a touring musician. So it was just like then he just ruined that facade by saying the next person that we barely meet, I guess, is Becca. She's 25. She judges based on kisses, which is the only note I have written down. And then she picks a Danny.
Seems like
Which is-
that one dude that was trying to kiss everyone should have hooked up with this one.
Oh, the lips.
Our favorite Michael Todd.
Michael Todd.
Michael Todd. There's not a whole lot to say about her because she was barely in the show. Then we've got Savannah. She was 25. She picked Chris, which was
One
they were Chris was the one playing piano a lot for you musician like lovers out there. He was one of the like 3 people that actually played an instrument during the show.
I have a note on Savannah. As you
Go
said,
ahead.
she's 25. Yoga instructor from Tennessee, specifically Nash Vegas. There you have it. That's all I got.
There you go. Very important details.
In case you were wondering.
Then no, hold on. I lied. Bree is the one that picks Chris. Savannah picks Brandon.
No one cares.
Brandon was the like kind of douchey looking guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looked like he couldn't really walk. Like he just like worked out or some shit.
Does he skip leg day or does he do too much leg day?
I think it was everything. Like his legs were not moving that well. So it was just like, oh man, like everything's sore. I can't move. You need to carry me.
I mean, when you put on that one on that mask, you're just gonna sacrifice a little bit of agility. That's just the reality you hit the gym. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, you don't want to be able to walk. That's how much mass you want. Yeah.
Do we gotta go deep on Michael Todd at some point?
I think that's right now.
We gotta.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Because we're talking about Brandon being douchey, and I feel like you gotta be like, whoa, let's talk about Michael Todd when that happens.
I mean, we're at the end of all the women. We discussed everyone.
We discussed everyone. We did it.
We did it.
Let's talk about
Now
douchey
on
McDoucherson.
to random minutia at this point. So,
Oh, we haven't gotten to the minutia yet.
Now we're doing random minutia.
I mean, now is the final minutia segment. You have any final minutias to talk about? Now would be the time.
Let's talk about Michael Todd.
Yeah, go ahead. Tee it up,
Max,
Rob.
tell me about Michael Todd.
Okay, so Todd Michaels, or whatever the fuck his name is, he just like goes up to ladies and says like, "What's wrong? Am I too attractive?" And he does this like weird thing with his lips where he kind of like duck faces, but it's like a little over exaggerated. I don't know. It's awful. I hate it.
There's a lot of eyebrow raises too, Max. You forgot the eyebrow raises.
He looks the way I like exaggerate my face when I'm on a Zoom call when I'm like making a joke, but he just does this when he's flirting with it.
Yeah, he gives off a very strong creep vibe. Like, way too... Like, it's so much, though, you feel like he's playing the villain. Like, he's not actually that bad in real life. He has, like, lines to read.
The very first thing I noticed was that like everybody's intro card only had their first name. Michael Todd insisted on getting his last name in there, and he's the only
you don't
Michael
know
on the
that.
show.
He could be Michael Todd. That could be his first name.
Yeah, who the hell would have 2 first names as their first name?
Could be his middle name. Who knows? He just goes by.
Doesn't
Michael
matter.
Todd.
You just put your first one. No, I think it's his last name.
I don't think so. I think that he goes by Michael Todd. That's just some weird thing his parents did to him.
Wait, we didn't like stop at that speed bump. We just went over the speed bump. Our car got demolished. Annabeth, would you like to say anything back to this on the 2 first names?
I think there's some hate for some reason, but I'd love to go over that speed bump.
Yeah,
2
I don't.
first names is great. How about 3 first names?
Some sort of throuple.
Cool.
But okay, so you go on the show. Like, would you put your first and last name on there, or like your full name?
No, just everyone's go by first name. You go by first name.
Or like I think you might want like a pen name because you don't want to be associated with your Bachelor persona. You want to be able to like really let loose on Bachelor. So like you like new name.
No, you got to use your real name for the social media influence. You got to parlay this
You
into
start a new social.
social media.
Yeah, if you're trying to be a social media influencer, you got to get the real name out there. That's important. But this conversation is reminding me of the episode of The Bachelorette we did for the podcast with Mr. Jack Stone,
Oh, Jack
Oh.
Stone.
who he had his first and last name in his title card when no one else did, and we were all very confused.
Yeah. We were also confused why he was on so long.
Ducking into the minutia, Annabeth brought up hot touch before.
Yeah. And nobody seemed to remember it. Did you remember it, Noah?
So I was playing the Spotify track in between watching the show and coming on the pod. So, Annabeth, do you want to lead into Hot Touch?
That was Michael Todd, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's Michael Todd's song. It has over 100,000 spins.
Oh my god! Well, Michael Todd rolls in and like pretty immediately starts singing to the ladies his song "Hot Touch," and his singing voice he affects like some kind of it's not good. It's a weird sort of like tone that he does, and his body changes, and it's truly horrible.
That's his only song on Spotify.
It is.
That's why he keeps his last name. That's his.
Is he a real musician? Do you think he's a fake? Is he a fake one?
No, I mean I just looked at him on Spotify.
Yeah. When like right before he played it, he said, "Hey, who wants to hear my song?" Like this is his only song. So I think this is confirmed.
And even the song itself, like it's not musically driven. You know, it's like a bunch of synth and pop. Like he just picked up a beat from the internet and put some baby love type of stuff on top of it, pushed it out.
This is where I want to know, like I don't know if I need more musical challenges because there was a lot of music in this episode, but I do wish we had more of people's musical backgrounds. Like, are people like professional backup singers? Or are they music teachers? Like, where are these people coming from? How did he write Hot Touch? Who is he?
So on YouTube, there is the making of Hot Touch by Michael Todd. And it's a 45-second video. And the first comment is, George Bush did 9/11. I thought that was really funny. There's also like 400 views of this video, so you know
there's about to be a lot more. He definitely just went on there just for the fame, like
yeah,
100%.
He's definitely on the fame. The one last minutia I have on the show is that the age disparity between the men and the women in the show is like pretty big. Like most of the women are like 21 to like 25. And a lot of the guys are like 28 to like 35. Like the oldest person is 38. So like they're not even in the same range generally.
This feels like another Bachelor trademark move too. I feel like this is always kind of a thing, like especially when there's like a male Bachelor, like all the women for that season are super young.
But if they're trying to go in the model of A Star Is Born, I think Bradley Cooper is a little bit older than Lady Gaga.
Oh, he's much older than her. Yeah.
Nice, Harrison. They're just trying to keep it authentic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Literally.
I end up with the image. you know what you want the end product to be. You just work back from there.
Yeah, I do got to build on like Adam was saying. I think some of these people are really talented musicians. Some of them, even some of these like musical like dates they did, like they can sing a song, but they're definitely not a musician.
Mm-hmm.
Can you define what a musician is, Noah?
You have talent.
Man. No passion? Do you know the passion? Like
you didn't like Sheridan's song?
Sheridan's song.
Oh, yeah. We didn't talk about Sheridan's song. Sheridan says he started writing this song earlier that week for the woman he played it to, just in general, not really sure. No. And then he asked her to help him finish it, and they don't do that. That doesn't happen.
He just wrote the hook, and he was like, I want to finish it with you.
I thought that was going to happen like right then. I thought she was going to like drop a lyric, and they were going to like workshop a little bit together.
No, that was just game. That's all game. That's his thing.
Is that like a pickup artist move?
Oh yeah. You got to get this in that mystery pickup artist show as well.
What if we see next episode Sheridan sings the same song to a different woman, and he's like, I really need some help finishing this.
Sheridan got
just starts. Is he a graduate of the mystery show? He's peacocking a little bit with the hat,
he's
the hair,
definitely peacocking,
and he's like pulling out the moves. You know, you gotta be watchful. Watch for
That's
those.
a good
Watch
call.
for the negging. Negging is next.
Especially as he beat out Captain America, right? Like that guy was like an Iron Man looking guy, and Sheridan won.
He won. The power of the hats.
Playing the game. All right, are we good for ratings? Anyone else?
I
got
am.
anything?
Yeah, sure. Sorry, never mind.
All right, Harrison, give me your rating.
Oh man, this show is terrible. I mean, like, it's just, it is a weird version of Bachelor in Paradise. It seems like, it kind of seems like, High School Musical a little bit in some moments where people kind of seem to be like singing about what they're feeling. It's like some weird things like that. I don't know. Chris Harrison reminds me of Mark L. Wahlberg and vice versa. So I've got some issues there. And yeah, it's gonna be a bottom third. I can't. I'm not gonna be watching this.
All right, Annabeth, what do you got for me?
I'm gonna say this is top of the bottom. I think it is not good. There are too many recaps. They're like there's like a kernel of something interesting here because I do like the idea of the music challenges and love, but they don't really do it very well, and it just takes so long. So top of the bottom.
I'm gonna go with bottom third. I think that the show is hot garbage, and I was on Reddit for the second half of the show. I didn't give a fuck, and yeah, that's what we're gonna go with. Not quite as bad as when we watched BIP, which was 4 hours of like just even more hot garbage. So at least we got a rose ceremony this time, so that was nice. Brian, what do you got for me?
I'm gonna throw a little curveball because the reason I watch like Bachelor is because I watch it with other like people and it's fun as a group thing. I think that like this is only digestible as a group thing, so I'm putting it like in the bottom of the middle. So it throws off like I don't think Bachelor in general is good, but it's fun to watch with people, and like it was fun to like watch with like everybody and trash it.
There you go. Rob, what do you got for me?
I gotta. Sorry, Brian. This has got to go, and then the bottom third. This just was so uninteresting for so much of it, and like I'm curious if there's a way to repackage this of the show Chris said he wanted, and then was just describing stuff that happened in the show, but like where he was actually going with like a much more music centric show that the dating is kind of like more focused on the music and the dating is more the side product than this way where it's the bit part is central. Would that be like a sort of interesting kind of premise and stuff? And I feel like it's going to pivot to this American Idol show, but I don't know if that's going to be much better. So I was not very engaged by this show, and I'm going to keep it in the bottom third.
All right, Max, what do you got for me?
Curveball, middle third, middle of the middle.
Oh man, shocking.
I had fun with the show, especially compared to all the other Bachelor just schlock we've watched. This one, it was a good different twist that I didn't expect. Yeah, it was fun. I do honestly, I do think there is something to like connecting with music. Is this show doing the right approach to this? Absolutely not. But it was fun to talk shit about it with you guys.
So you're on the Brian train.
Brian's on the Max train.
Yeah.
James, what do you got for me?
Yeah, so this one's going in the bottom. But I do have to say, to give it a few, I will say the show is visually very well like put together, and audibly the music soundtrack, which we didn't touch on, I thought was pretty good. So like the package, the way it's presented is nice, but the content, for all of the reasons I already said, is just lacking and dragging. It's really hard for me to kind of care, get interested or invested in any sort of way. And so for that, while there are a few highlights here and there, and I totally agree with this would be more fun for a group, top of the bottom.
Noah. would you like to give us your rating?
Yeah, the show sucks. But I agree with Rob that I think there actually is a lot of interesting potential and like spin-off opportunity to do like these mashups between Bachelor and maybe The Masked Singer. Like, get some really fun stuff going on there. They pull off the mask. It's like, wow,
You know where Love Is Blind, maybe?
some right? Like,
Ooh.
there is like the mixed genre opportunity here, which I like that they're going for, but this is just executed so poorly that it's basically The Bachelor with like a pinch of music, which then makes it The Bachelor, which puts it at the bottom. I'll put it at the middle of the bottom because there's worse shit we watch out there. So yeah, that's where it goes.
Noah, does your girlfriend want to give a rating? Is she still around?
No.
Okay. Well, I figured I'd ask.
Full bottom, nothing.
You don't have to. It's just offering an opportunity.
What's wrong?
You know your full rating system. I'm good. Thank
Very-
you though.
Very chivalrous, Chris.
Thank you.
You guys, do you think that at the end of the season, so they kind of recorded one song this episode, do you think by the end of the season there's going to be like a CD of like, they make like a professional song every episode and there's going to be some kind of terrible album?
One,
I-
yes, and two, it's going to be followed up by a national tour where all these people go and fucking perform everywhere. As
Yeah.
long as the coronavirus allows for it.
So initially I thought, so like my sister was going to go to like Bachelor Live, which I was like, is this show just Bachelor Live? Like, is this just like, they're going to take these contestants that are musically inclined and put on a show and like figure out if they're the drama related to like whatever. That's what I thought. Like, what the fuck is Bachelor Live? Like, I don't understand.
I looked it up. It was here in Seattle, and it was like you can get on stage somehow, and like you were like dating the people, like whoever the Bachelor person is. You go on like little mini dates or something. Noah, do you know about it?
Yeah, when I saw it come in, I looked it up to see if like our Bachelor people would go. It's basically that. It's a very condensed version of The Bachelor. Unclear what they do for their dates, but the goal is like you have a couple at the end.
Does somebody get like proposed to at the end?
I think
No,
it was
it's
just
not the
the-
proposal live, Harrison.
Yo, doesn't somebody get proposed to at the end of The Bachelor? Isn't that like the point of the show?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I am
Yeah.
surprised that in the huge recap they show us of this season, there's no like dramatic ring box opening. Like
Maybe
there's
that's a
no hint of
spoiler.
proposal.
Maybe that's a spoiler.
The rings and the guitar.
All right, so on to updates. I got an update for everyone. We got our Top Chef fantasy scoreboard updated this week. Currently in the lead is Noah, because Melissa King won for the second week in a row, so he's
Ooh.
winning with 13.
Whew.
Lisa was kicked off the show, but she did win Last Chance Kitchen. So you got
Boom.
half a
Let's
point
go.
for that. So you still can earn 0.5 points up until the end if she keeps winning. So everyone that has two people left in the show is Max, myself, and Noah and Annabeth. Everyone else has somebody kicked off the show so far. So, it's anyone's game so far. So we'll see how things play out.
You say it's anyone's game except for like the people that got somebody kicked off.
I mean, if your person makes it to the end of the like show, like
Yeah.
you get 5 points for making it to the end. Like,
Yeah,
I
until
don't
your
know.
second person is kicked off, you still got some hope.
I have
Yeah.
no concept of how many points are good points.
so it ranges from 13 to 4 right now.
Ooh, okay.
Harrison not doing so.
Is Harrison in last?
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Because
Not last.
Harrison's character was kicked off first, so he has like only one of his people have been like.
But,
But,
my
like-
remaining person's gonna win, so I think that might balance out.
But
Yeah,
you
I mean,
get
she
points?
did make a final table this week, so you did get extra points for that. So we'll see. It definitely helps when you have two people still on the show.
But do you get like points by default for just having somebody make it through a show?
Yeah. So the point ranges are if your character does not get eliminated in an episode, you get a point.
Ah, okay, got it.
If you're on the winning team, you get an extra point. And if you win the episode, you get 2 points, 2 extra points. So, or you get an extra point on top of being in the winning team. So you get like 4 points. Anyway, the other update I have is for the Lego show. So we did the Lego show a long time ago. They did their penultimate episode last week. And Rob, do you remember the couple that like did terrible?
The couple that met on Reddit?
Yeah. And then
yeah.
you were like, they were going to get kicked off. Well, now we're down to 3 teams. And
they're still going?
Spoiler alert. They're still on.
Oh man, once they actually banged, that really unlocked their potential.
They definitely have been killing it. They're like way more artistic than you'd think they would be. And they like the last episode they had to do some sort of like mechanical thing, which they did miserable at with their stupid amusement park. And they did a way better job. I don't know if they've been like doing Lego for like 14 hours a day and then like practicing after that or not, or practicing banging. It's unclear why or how they got so good, why they were so bad at the beginning.
Because they never built Lego together. That's why they were bad.
But like even like the 2 guys that seemed really, really good, that like built, I don't know what they did.
The Ferris
they did
wheel?
The roller coaster, I think. They did like a roller coaster that episode. Or
Okay.
Ferris wheel. Yeah, they got kicked off. Like they lost to that team. So like it's been really fun. I like that show. Like it was just fun to see people build like crazy stuff. And it's
very pleasant, very interesting. Will Arnett continues to be an amazing host and just kind of sets the tone for the whole show. And yeah, it's great.
So are all the challenges still like double-digit hours long, or are there any quick hits in there?
I think that both the challenges and the last one were like 7 or 8 hours each, maybe 9 hours.
Down to
I think the shortest time was like 5 hours.
But sometimes after a sort of a shorter sprint, they stop them and they throw something in there again, and they're like, "All right, now you get 10 more hours to incorporate this."
It is unclear the shooting schedule of the show.
Wait, we don't know the production schedule? What? Chris, you were supposed to get that for us.
We really need some context.
Have we had the Duplo challenge yet?
No Duplo challenge. I don't think it's
coming.
coming.
Down to 3, I don't think it's happening.
There's only 1 week left. So
would you save the Duplo challenge for your grand finale? That's the question.
so maybe you save that for Lego Kids, your spin-off in a couple years.
Oh yeah. Lego Masters Jr.
So Rob, can you give me the update?
I'll give you the update. Update's quick. The kangaroo was kicked off, and it was Jordan Woods. Who's Jordan Woods? She's famous for being Kardashian adjacent.
Jesus.
The kangaroo talked about she had a lot of drama in the last year, and Jordan Woods hooked up with I'm blanking on the name. Not Courtney, the other one. Anyway, Chloe. She hooked up with Chloe's baby daddy and was the final nail in the coffin of Chloe and her baby daddy breaking up. And now Jordan is on the outs with the Kardashian clan.
So is she kicked off the show now too?
She's off the Masked Singer. She got unmasked.
Well, I mean, is she off the Kardashian show too?
I don't know.
No.
So, like, I was just totally like, I don't know who this is. I'm not interested. I was watching with Emmy, and Jenny McCarthy guessed Jordan Woods. And Emmy goes, "Oh, that's such a good guess. Oh, that makes so much sense." And then got unmasked. I was clearly very excited. So if you know who Jordan Woods was, apparently this was pretty fun. But for me, 3 of the last 4, I've had no idea who they are. And the other one was Gronk, who I was like annoyed was still on the show. So it's not been a good run for me. I'm curious if this season is going. All the interesting people like Lil Wayne got kicked off early, and now everyone else is just randos. I don't know, but
they kicked off all the really famous people that didn't have the time for this shit. Now it's just like fucking D-list celebrities.
Yeah.
Do you have any predictions on who is still in the show?
Do you have any predictions for the show? It's hard to remember on the fly, and sometimes it's like that guy from that thing, and it's
Yeah.
I don't know. So I don't have a good solid prediction, but there's someone who came on the radio and he was like, "Oh, this is the guy we think might be the turtle," and I was like, "Oh yeah."
Ooh. What's your favorite?
Oh, this is the one I got. There's an astronaut, and it's probably not him, but there's some signs it might be Joseph Gordon-Levitt, which would be incredible. But that probably means it's not him.
0%.
That would be amazing, though.
0% chance.
Yeah.
Anyone else got any updates they want to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, I want to talk for a hot second about Quibi. If we could drop into the Quibi corner real quick.
Yeah, I just want to mention that in the next weeks, we're gonna do a Quibi episode where we watch a bunch of Quibi reality shows. So
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes, we've been talking about Quibi a little bit and been trying to, like I feel like I've been trying to get interested in Quibi, but like I feel like a lot of the content announcements haven't really gotten it done or whatever. Like sign up for the trial in the app, never watched anything. Then earlier today on Twitter there was a clip of some Quibi show that somebody tweeted out, and it was basically of Rachel Brosnahan, who plays Mrs. Maisel on The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, in some insane show about her losing an arm and then it gets replaced with a golden arm, an arm that's made out of gold, which gives her some kind of gold poisoning.
It's a pulmonary gold disease.
Pulmonary gold disease, which in the show appears to be some kind of respiratory condition.
Some sort of corona condition?
Yeah. No, so I saw this clip and I'm like, this can't be as crazy as it seems. And then
what was the clip?
We had to watch it. James.
I don't understand what the clip was. Like, is this all after you teed up this person's story, but like, is the clip this person like this happening, or like I'm just confused what the timeline is.
The whole thing about Quibi is that like it's like all like super short episodes. This one's like a 5-minute episode, a 10-minute episode, like a 5-minute episode. Somebody on Twitter spliced out like some small segments from the series of 3 episodes that basically shows some hilarious moments of her getting this golden arm and then her being told that the golden arm is what's making her ill and killing her and all this stuff.
Okay, so this stuff is happening is the show.
Yeah, it's just the whole show.
And so you saw a supercut of it.
Yeah,
okay.
Pretty much.
It wasn't a supercut. It was just one scene from the show.
It was
the clip essentially, James, was this woman on her deathbed. The doctor was like, "Hey, we remove this arm, you'll be better." And she's like, "No, I can't be better. I need my arm." And then she like dies because she won't remove her arm, is what I gathered from the clip. And how ridiculous that sounds. There's a whole show around that.
Yeah, so it's basically there's like this horror anthology series called 50 States of Fright that they have. So the first part of it is about Michigan, which this thing had nothing to do with Michigan. Maybe it was shot there, not really sure. But like episode 1, it is this woman is married to a lumberjack, and he's like, "Hey, I need help cutting this tree down." And the tree falls on her arm, and he hacks it off with an axe. That's episode 1.
It's really gory.
It's so gory.
For like 5 minutes long, it is shocking how much blood, and you see a bunch of arm coming off. It is terrible.
Terrible situation.
Why are you watching this? Why did you want to get into this Quibi thing?
We had to get to the golden arm, James. We had to know, how does she get the golden arm? Why does she wear it? What is pulmonary gold disease?
We'll include the clip in our show notes. So
I'm still stuck.
Please watch the clip.
At why you had to watch a clip of a show that's only 5 minutes long. You didn't just watch the 5-minute show. Like, why are there clips on the internet that are shorter than the show's only 5 minutes? I don't get it. I'm so stuck.
I just came across this clip and it caused me to watch the show. Okay, so she loses this arm, and she's super sad because she doesn't have an arm, obviously. And the husband is feeling super bad because it's totally his fault that she doesn't have this arm anymore. So he makes her this crazy looking metal arm, and she's like, whatever. And then she's kind of thinking, she's like, "Could you make this out of gold for me?" And so he fucking smelts down like 3 or 4 gold bars and makes a solid gold arm for her, and she's finally happy again. She's super pumped. But then she goes to the doctor, and it turns out that having the golden arm is killing her.
Isn't a golden arm? Wouldn't it be ridiculously heavy?
Oh yeah,
Like,
solid gold.
You gotta do the muscles. You gotta start doing some exercises.
what? There's no muscles, Chris. It's gold. There's no arm.
And you know, like
skip an arm day, dude. You can't skip arm day.
He doesn't have the arm. The arm's not gonna get any stronger. It's gold. I don't know what you're missing.
Oh yeah, and
It's connected somehow.
And of course, the other end of this is that like this guy has bankrupted himself to make this golden arm for his wife, whose arm he chopped off with an axe because he feels so bad and wants to make her happy again. So he's bankrupted himself, going into debt.
So this is real?
Golden arm. She's dying.
But
Won't
like,
take off the arm.
Why? If you instead of doing
wants the
that,
arm
take
too
the
much.
gold, go get some prosthetic arm, and
No.
go to a hospital like a normal person.
This is a world where only gold arms.
Who are these
pres-
people?
like,
I don't
exist.
understand. Like, who's
It's not
doing
made out of
it?
gold.
And they're doing this for this Quibi TV show? What is wrong with these
It's not
people?
a reality show, James.
What is it then?
It's
Wait. You did we?
Is this
a
fiction?
reality show?
This is fiction? Why are we talking about it?
No.
Are you
No.
kidding me?
This is real.
This is the
Oh,
stupidest
man.
fucking. Okay,
That
we're
might
done.
be better than the actual show.
This is stupid as hell. Why? I don't understand any of this now. Why are we
So-
even talking about this bullshit? This is the
Yes,
stupidest
it's
thing I've ever
gold arm.
heard.
She gets
It's
the
not
gold arm
real. It doesn't matter. Who
And gets
cares?
and refuses to remove it and dies.
No, she doesn't. We've been over it. Not real.
Yeah, most of the content we watch is also not real.
Sure.
And her stipulation before she died was she said, "Promise me one thing before you die. Bury me with the golden arm."
Yeah, because she didn't die. Doesn't matter. None of this is real. This is the stupidest plot I've ever heard of.
So this guy
That's the point. It is the stupidest plot.
Why
has
would
to
you
bury
watch
her
this?
with the golden arm, which has bankrupted him? But then he's having second thoughts.
Why?
he
Who
digs with his
cares?
body.
Why are you still watching?
That's a good
Yeah.
question, actually.
Because it was super fast, and we just watched it. So digs her up, takes the arm back so he can be financially, okay again. Turns out she didn't like that too much. Now she's a zombie, and she kills him for the arm. And that's the entire end of the show.
Yeah, never
Spoilers.
unsubscribe.
Spoilers, dude. It's a zombie? Dude.
Oh, there was tons of spoilers in there. The whole.
I described the entire show.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I think that
This
description was longer than the actual show.
Could've-
We're definitely talking about it more than the length of this show.
Yeah.
This is stupid.
To give a little preview for Quibi Week,
I'm gonna
and
hate Quibi Week.
they got
Spoiler.
punked. It's really well done. They have a mentalist show that's kind of fun. They have a TMZ show. I don't really watch TMZ, but I watched an episode. It was fine. So like the
No,
content-
you didn't even mention the best one, Murder House Flip.
I didn't watch
That's
it.
the one we gotta watch. That's the one I want to watch.
What are we? We're watching some murder bullshit now.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
So remember those house flipping shows? I don't think we've actually done a house flipping show.
We've
But,
definitely
like
done
it's
a
a
house,
house renovation show, but they renovate houses where people got murdered.
Chris, I'm pretty sure we did a show called Fixer Upper. So,
But is that about flipping houses or just about?
I
like,
guess.
That's just about fixing houses.
And James, last week we did a show about murder, and that's the last update we got to do, Chris. We got to talk about it.
What are we talking about?
Oh yeah, the Tiger King.
Tiger King had a bonus episode
Oh,
Oh yeah, I haven't
that
seen
was
it.
just insane in a totally different way. You had Joel McHale, who looked like he didn't shower or prepare at all for this, sitting on his bed, interviewing people over Zoom or whatever. It was something.
I'd say it was bad. I would not encourage anyone to watch it.
Oh really?
Like, the only thing that I really got out of it was that it made a much clearer case for Joe Exotic being a real asshole. Like
Oh,
the
yeah.
documentary, definitely you could kind of go through and like he's an asshole, but he's like a lovable asshole. But like these set of interviews with people that knew him for years, like they're just flat out, he's a dick. I don't want anything to do with him anymore. That's the only thing I really got out of it.
It was pretty clear. It's like, yep, that guy should be in jail. I don't want anything to do with that guy anymore. Yeah. That one dude, one of his former husbands, the Finley guy, has a full mouth of teeth now. Looks great.
Yeah.
I think multiple people had new teeth.
Yeah,
I'm so happy for them.
for sure. Yeah.
But
Also,
then the documentary guy is in Norway now, and he does not have new teeth. So I wonder if the teeth couldn't go all the way to Norway.
You know, it's weird.
One thing I noticed was that it was brought to you by AirPods. Everyone had AirPods.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that like Netflix must have just like mailed everybody like an iPhone with AirPods because like none of these people have any kind of reliable.
Well, there's actually good AirPod minutia because like everyone's wearing AirPods, so clearly Netflix sent them too. But then Jeff Lowe is with his wife, and they each have one AirPod. So Netflix couldn't send them two; they sent them one, and they had to share.
Well, they just really wanted to interview Jeff. They didn't want the wife there at all.
I don't think you can sync two AirPods to one device.
Netflix can figure this out. They can send them more stuff. They got a lot of technology. And then the guy in Norway does not have AirPods. So Netflix did not want to send the AirPods overseas.
Maybe he just didn't want to use AirPods. He wanted to use his janky.
No, Chris. You're not looking deeper at the levels of how cheap Netflix was when they did this.
You gotta pay that like some kind of tax when you ship something across like countries too, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
But when you're spending billions of dollars on content, like to spend an extra $200 to send AirPods is like nothing.
And the other thing that I was crazy was like Joel McHale asked a guy about the killing of the tigers. He's like, so you were doing that when you were kind of just trying to euthanize them when something was wrong. The guy goes, yeah, you'd think so, but there were other times. And then Joel just moves on. It's like, Joel, you need to follow up on that. And like Joel was not prepared for the kind of answers he was getting.
I wonder what community college he went to.
Thanks, Noah.
Thing I want to mention about the whole Jeff Lowe thing, which is Jeff Lowe seems like a piece of shit, but he always feels very inclusive of his wife in the show. So that's one odd positive thing about Jeff Lowe.
We didn't get to meet the nanny though. I was very disappointed.
Oh, the nanny's on Instagram.
The nanny's on Instagram?
Oh yeah.
Joel was very interested in asking about the nanny.
Yeah, that was like the only thing that I liked was he asked about the nanny.
No, I liked Joel. Joel did this to everybody, but I liked the who should play you in the Netflix movie that they're going to make about Tiger King. And one guy says Matthew McConaughey should play you.
Yeah.
It's like Matthew McConaughey's not playing you, guy. I hate to break it to you.
All right. Anyone else? All right. Well, that's it for us this week. I don't think we're going to do another addendum this week. So that's it. And next week, it's either going to be Queeby shows or Netflix is another really interesting reality show about love. So maybe we'll continue our love month, which we know James loves. So we'll see you guys next time.
Hey pretty baby, got you looking at me, got you looking at me, got you looking at me. Hey pretty baby, you're so easy to read. Hey pretty baby, that's your eyes, that look in your eyes.